Shift, shift, swing. What's up, golfers? Weight shift. Working on my weight shift on the downshift board here. We're going to share with you today what is weight shift, why is it important, and why you need to learn to do it as a golfer properly to maximize your performance out on the golf course. So not too long ago, we had our CEO and founder, Chris Finn, talking about weight shift on the podcast. Link is in the description. It was on the show previously. This is one of our, what we call our core 4 swing characteristics for efficiency. So the weight shift number 1, this is where literally where the rubber meets the road. I've only got 2 things to exert force against as a golfer. I can exert force against the grip with my hands, and I can exert force against the ground with my feet. Ground's a lot bigger. It's a lot easier to put more force into the ground. So let's start there. So this obviously is a tool that gives me some feedback as to how and when to shift the weight. We'll get into that in a second. We want to make sure that you can actually have the ability to get onto that lead side and start that weight shift. We need to see if you have the mobility to do that. Because if you don't, trying to do the drill is pointless and you're going to probably lose balance, okay? Which is, if you ever have trouble getting to your lead side and holding your follow through, it's likely not a balance issue, okay? Most people say, well, yeah, I struggle holding my finish or getting to that lead side. It's probably not a balance issue. It's probably a mobility issue. The most important thing we need to check is your lead hip. So for right-handed golfer, left hip. For lefty, we're looking at the right hip. Obviously, you want to have good mobility in both hips, but if you draw a line straight up from my leg here and then draw an angle out, we've got 90 degrees, okay? We want to see halfway between that, 45 degrees, which is right about there, of internal hip rotation, which looks like this. Oh, my leg's a little tight today. So without me leaning to the side, I can tell it's tight. I'm not at 45. But if I hold here and I really keep my knee pointing straight ahead and rotate my thigh to get that foot out to the side, I'm trying to roll this thigh inwards to get the foot to go out. You can see I'm pretty close, almost 45 degrees there. And I really feel this in my hip muscles. You might feel that cramping if you just tried to do it. If that was a struggle for you, if you got somebody looking at you measuring, if you're here, that's a problem. That means you cannot internally rotate in your lead hip, which means when your foot is actually fixed on the ground like the golf swing, you're not going to be able to get your pelvis on top of this leg because this is internal rotation in the lead leg or this motion. So we need at least 45 degrees. This is one of our main 4 rotary centers. We've got our hips, we've got our T-spine, we've got our shoulders, and we've got our neck. Okay, so we've got a free home assessment that helps you learn to see if you've got any mobility restrictions in those 4 main rotary centers. Again, mobility is a non-negotiable in golf. You need good rotary mobility if you're going to be able to swing the club and avoid injuries. So that is number 1. Do we have enough mobility? If we don't, and that was a real problem, got a fix for you. Take that golf club, stick it into your hip, okay? Press it in right where when you do that motion, you should feel a little muscle pop up right there. That is your TFL. That is the main muscle that internally rotates your hip. I'm going to take that golf club and just dig it in there. Once I find that sore spot, I'm just going to hold it there and lean on it. Press into it. Should be pretty uncomfortable, maybe a 6 out of 7 on the intensity scale. I can dig in with this hand a little bit, and I can actually try and do that motion in the hip. I can even keep my foot on the floor and just rotate the hip like that when I'm pressing in with that golf club. And you should notice once I do this for 30 to 60 seconds, again, I'm really digging in on that sore spot, pinning it in place. And after about a minute, if I try that again and retest, it should be a little easier, you can see, for me to get that leg out to the side without leaning. So that's number 1. We've got lots of mobility exercises we can do for the hips, but that's number 1. Can we actually rotate onto that lead leg and get to a weight shift without mobility restricting us and then causing us to lose balance? If you're trying to get to that side and it's restricted, you can see if my hip doesn't rotate enough, I'm going to get stuck here instead of being able to get all the way to here. And that's where balance comes through, because I'm swinging through fast. I can't get onto this hip, and I'm not going to get to that full follow-through position because I don't have enough room in this hip to rotate to the target. So mobility is always number one. Priority number two is going to be strength. Do I actually have enough strength in my lower body to support a push into the ground and a good weight shift? And can I put force into the ground? Okay? So most people, we need a good single leg strength for this to happen. So here's a simple test you can do. If you've got dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells, start light, do a warm-up set of split squats, just like this, okay? Maybe do a set with a lighter weight. Make sure you're warmed up. Okay, do 2 warm-up sets. Then we take half your body weight and then divide it in half, which equals 25% of your body weight. That's what each dumbbell should approximately weigh. So I've got total of half my body weight, but a quarter of my body weight in each dumbbell. I'm going to pick those up. Again, you have to be warmed up to do this, okay? From here, all I'm going to try and do is controlled come down, bring my knee almost to the floor, and come back up, down and up. Can I do this? Again, if you don't think you can get down and come back up, set the dumbbells down. It's over, right? We want to see how many you can comfortably do. We want to feel like you can get towards at least 8 reps with half your body weight in both hands, okay? If we're not at 8 reps with each leg, chances are you are not as strong as you need to be to push into the ground and support enough force to get onto that lead leg, creating club head speed and a powerful weight shift. So do we have number one, do we have rotary mobility in the lead hip? Am I strong enough to support my body weight pushing into the ground on that leg? If you can do both those things. Then we get our lovely downshift board here, okay? If you'd like to check one of these out, it's a great tool. Gives you immediate feedback on how to develop a weight shift, okay? Link is going to be in the description for the home assessment, for the downshift board, and our podcast episode on weight shift. So you can check that out, but this board is really simple. All it is a teeter-totter, okay? I can shift weight to my lead side. I shift weight to the trail side. I'm going to start with weight on the lead side. Don't even have to have a golf club. I can just put it here. All I'm going to do in my golf posture is shift weight to the trail side first. So I'm starting on the lead side, shift weight, then turn. While my back is to the target, I shift weight. So I hear the board drop and click into the floor, and then I'm going to get into my lead side. Hold the follow through. Once you've done that 5, 10, 20 times with no club, arms across the chest, then we start weight on the lead side. And I'm going to shift first, okay? Shift, backswing, stay at the top, shift. This is the big move here. I'm staying here, my back's to the target, and I make the board move first before my hands move. So we have to do it slow, and then I come down to impact and through, holding the follow through. And start slowly. We don't need to take full speed swings here. This is more about a patterning drill. I'm going to start on my lead side, shift, swing to the top, then shift and swing through. Use the ground. This is about sequencing. Weight starts on the lead side, shift, backswing, shift, follow through. And you can just count that out. Shift and turn, shift, then turn. Okay? Very simple drill that you can start to work on. But again, doing this is pointless, literally pointless, if you don't have the physical ability to rotate decently into your lead hip and you don't have enough strength to support your body weight plus half your body weight in your hands. Okay? Work on your strength so you can support some pressure. Make sure you got the mobility, then do the drill. Otherwise, you're going to be fumbling around on this board, trying to get onto your lead side. You're going to get stuck here because we don't have enough lead hip mobility. Work on that lead hip mobility. We'll even put a link in the description for a hip mobility routine for you to do. Mobility first, then strength, then we work on specializing things. That's the order we need to do things. Hope you guys found this super, super helpful. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, give us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.